It's Gold Cup qualification time. 7 spots remain, 14 teams still in the mix to get to the Continental Championship. Let's talk about the 5 most interesting stories that are going to take place between Friday and Tuesday. Number 1, it's Honduras having to do it without their fans. Because of that incident in San Pedro Sula where Mexico manager Javier Aguirre was hit with a can that made him bleed from the head, Honduras will not be able to count on their home support in the second leg against Bermuda. Now, this is a pretty weakened Bermuda team, and against a pretty strong Bermuda team in World Cup qualification, not even a year ago, Honduras was able to get a 6-1 victory. But I think the context is different for Honduras just because of the moment the national team is in. Fans think they can get to the World Cup. If you don't get to the Gold Cup and don't do it convincingly, you're going to start to lose some of that optimism under manager Miguel Herrera. Second, for me, it's Cuba calling in 2 naturalized players. For the first time in nearly 60 years, Cuba is bringing in players who were not born in Cuba. Now, just a few years ago, they started calling in players who were born in Cuba but left. They didn't defect, so they weren't falling afoul of the Cuban government, but they didn't grow up in the Cuban sports system. Now those players are eligible, and so are 2 players, one born in Italy, one born in Belgium, who are naturalized. We may be seeing a Cuban soccer revolution, I don't think as soon as this month against Trinidad and Tobago, but the results could start showing up in the next few years. Next, it's Miguel Herrera leading Costa Rica. The Mexican manager already debuted with the Costa Rica national team playing the United States in a friendly, but his matches against Belize will be the first official competition that he leads Costa Rica into. It's an exciting time for Costa Rican soccer as they try and get back to their perch as one of the top 3 teams in the Concacaf region. Right now, it doesn't look like they're super close, but they're much better than Belize. If Piojo doesn't absolutely roll in these games, I think the pressure's already going to start bearing down on him. Speaking of Mexican managers in Central America, let's talk about Guatemala, where Luis Fernando Tena is trying to keep everyone happy as they look to get to the Gold Cup. Miguel Herrera, one of the naturalized players, was called into this camp and then said he's not going to go because of injury concerns. That sparked some discontent in the Guatemalan press, with some players who weren't called into the Guatemalan squad. The actual matchup I don't think is that tough, although the first game is at a neutral site and the second game is not at the Guatemalan National Stadium because of some renovations going on there. As long as they can block out the outside noise, they should be fine. But Luis Fernando Tena, with big aspirations, has to do well in these 2 games. And finally, it's our French friends Martinique and Guadeloupe facing very difficult paths to the Gold Cup. In 2023, both of the French overseas territories made it to the Gold Cup, which is the top tournament that they can qualify for since they're not members of FIFA. This time around, Martinique has to play a tough Suriname team, and they've got some critical absences, and Guadeloupe is going up against the Nicaragua side that has big designs on the Gold Cup. Fantasma Figueroa, the manager, has gotten a lot of investment from the Nicaraguan Federation. That's what's leading all the headlines down in the Nicaraguan sports press. Charter plane to and from Guadeloupe. If that investment isn't paid off with results, there will be discontent there. I think it's a tough road for Martinique and Guadeloupe. What are you looking forward to in Gold Cup qualification? Let me know in the comments, and make sure you check out my page for coverage of those matches, of the CONCACAF Nations League Final 4, and of everything else going on in the region.